Hey guys, welcome back. I've been off for a couple days, been super busy. Hope everyone is doing great. Today I want to talk to you about the gut-brain connection. I've had to condense this down because when we get in that, it can get super in depth because each little avenue can take off into its own. So I have been trying to get that kind of condensed down for you guys and go over that. I've talked about it before that I was going to do an in more of a video just dedicated to that gut brain connection. So, our gut, I've said it before, you hear it all the time. Our gut is our second brain. And so let me go over like some of the symptoms. And if you have a lot of these or people who have certain disorders, they have something wrong with their gut and it's sending off signals to our brain, and our brain just interprets that as, you know, something's wrong or it causes misfires and stuff. So, a big thing you'll hear gut brain is people who have, depression, anxiety. Now, I'm not talking about depression or anxiety because you've just had, like, you're in grief and you've just lost someone. So, you're having depression or something, traumatic has happened and it caused you to have anxiety or something. I'm just talking about people who are having, just struggling with depression and anxiety. People with schizophrenia, they always, every single one of them always will have something going on with their gut. I'm going to get in depth about this. Okay. People, when you have like just brain fog or just unexplained nausea, leaky gut, IBS, slowed cognitive abilities, mania, manic episodes, all that is always connected with the gut. Okay. Now, yes, there are genetic dispositions for these. And usually there is some type of microbial genetic thing, whether it has to do with food absorption. I can go really into depth that can be a genetic disposition for that. So yes, but if you have any of those type of things, fix your gut and those symptoms will get better of any of that. So, we have these little transmitters and they're kind of like a hormone protein that go between our gut and our brain. Now, anytime our microflora gets messed up, you are going to have these misfires, okay? And there's going to be, it just causes these issues because, we have our vagus nerve and our that will send, it's the longest nerve in our body. It goes from our brainstem, it goes all the way down. It causes these issues. Now, things that can cause that to start are antibiotic use. Even if you haven't been on antibiotic for years, or I just took it one time, such and such. But also what we eat, if you're eating out, if you're not eating clean or organic or doing your own, they pump full our food system with antibiotics. And people who say, I've never taken an antibiotic. I haven't had an antibiotic in 20 years. They will test that they have antibiotics in their system and it's from the food. So another avenue you can go down. Artificial sweeteners. This people get gripe and bark right at me about those daggone diet drinks. I'm sorry. I am giving you the truth. Artificial sweeteners will destroy. I don't want to hear you have diabetes, your sugar, whatever. If that's the worst case, don't drink soda. I know that sounds harsh. Well, don't. Artificial sweeteners, and you can go in your own depth on the truth of what that does to your gut, to your brain, and the truth of people think, oh, I can have sodas and I do diet and it doesn't mess up my diabetes. Well, there's all these rebound effects on what that does. And there's chemicals in artificial sweeteners that are extremely addictive. Okay, so that is one. Herbicides are humongous, like Roundup and different things like that, and different ones they spray. There's all these lawsuits and stuff that go on with that. But those do stop your ability to make those proteins that are needed that cause the problems with our gut. So those misfires I talked about with our vagus nerve and our enteric nervous system. You can look that up because I could go a big depth about that. That is where we're having an issue. Different things affect that, and it causes these misfires. So we're going to talk, there's GABA and serotonin. GABA is our natural, it's made in our brain, is our natural anti-anxiety calming that, is naturally made. Now, I'm going to do a reference on this. High amounts of our GABA is found in our limbic system. Now, there is a video I did about that system and the connection with things that have been going on the last 2 years. There's a reason and a connection with that, and people who are having a lot of these symptoms post, this or post C illness. And they're having, these brain type issues, this fog, this depression, this, why try, why give up, this hopelessness. They have all these things. Like their personality just changes. You'll see these personality changes. This is a connection with that. Okay. And I will link that video in my description for those who haven't seen it. And you'll see where these things always tie together. So, like I said, GABA is naturally produced in our brains. And now I will say gluten. If people have gluten sensitivities, even if you don't have a true gluten allergy, gluten can block some of that. Okay. It does. And that's just what it is. So if you notice that you have these brain fog, these weird feelings, depression, sleepiness, everything, if you've had more gluten, you're having a block. You're having a GABA block. The gluten is doing that. Also, if you have extremely low, because in our body, B6 and magnesium are needed for the proper, GABA function and all that. So there's this enzyme in our bodies called GAD 65, and that converts glutamate. Glutamate is our high alert. It can make people that have that anxiety and that nervousness and that on edge. Okay, that is from too high of glutamate. Now we can convert in our body glutamate to GABA. Okay, we can convert that chemical, and our body wants to do that because we need a certain amount of glutamate, but then it gets too high because that microbial, all that stuff is messed up. But again, you need B6 and magnesium is needed to convert that. If you have gut issues, you're not going to absorb and utilize all of that properly, whether it's from food or if you're taking supplements, it doesn't matter. Because a lot of times their gut is so messed up, they're like, I'm taking all my vitamins and supplements, I'm not getting better, I'm having still having these symptoms because you're not absorbing it correctly. You're not utilizing and absorbing it correctly. Like I have said here on before, I have a genetic form of pernicious anemia. I absolutely cannot absorb or utilize B12 that comes from food or supplement if it goes into my gut. I can't. It's just, I have that thing. There's different things that people could have in life, whether it's diet and lifestyle or genetic different things, where you're going to have an absorption issue, leaky gut, all those type of things. So we also can turn our glutamate into glutamine, which is an amino acid that we need as well, but we need manganese for that. So if you're having these different things and or if you've ever had blood work and you're low in magnesium, you're low in B6, you're low in manganese, and you're having some of these symptoms, that's kind of what's going on. This is a quick overview because it would be a 2-hour video if I didn't. So, the things like I talked about, the Roundup, the toxins, any kind of toxin that comes against us, like Roundup, they have many lawsuits. That stuff they find Roundup in rainwater. They find it in women's breast milk. It is, you almost cannot escape it. It doesn't matter if you've never used it yourself, okay? They will block things like your magnesium and different things like that from you absorbing and utilizing those things correctly. And then all these things, they play off of each other. Plus, that is one of the huge things that kills off just it being in the environment, around you. Even if you're like, I didn't use it, I didn't spray it, that chemical kills off the good gut bacteria in us anyways. So on to serotonin. I've talked about serotonin before. 90% of our serotonin is made in our gut. People have this misconception of where, it's just made in our brain. It's a chemical imbalance. It is, but it's in our gut. And so if your gut is messed up, not working properly, utilizing things properly, your floor is messed up, it's going to mess up your serotonin. There's absolutely no way around that. If your gut is messed up, you're going to have issues with serotonin. So it is. So that is our happy. It also helps regulate our body our temperature, our sleep, our memory, our learning. It's our mood stabilizer. It's for sexual function, everything. Serotonin is needed for, a lot of different things. Now, um, there are things people take. Okay. And before I get into this, I'm not judging anyone or saying what anyone should or shouldn't do. I'm giving you this. This is what the truth is, and this is how chemicals work in the body. If somebody takes things like antidepressants or Valium or Ativan or Diastat or anything like that, it will block our natural serotonin. So that's why a lot of times people will get on these and they get these rebound cycles, okay? Because our body, it blocks all the things that it's naturally using to stabilize itself. It's causing issues. Same thing. All hormonal replacement therapy blocks serotonin. They block it, they damage it, it causes all the things. People with lack of sun, if you don't get in the sun, how I talk about vitamin, getting the best vitamin D you can get is through your skin, get out in the sun, that absorption. And taking, especially in the winter months, if you're not, or depending on where you live and different, so many different factors go in that, is taking vitamin D3. I prefer always doing sublingual drops. I think there are issues, and of course, gut issues. Now, for fixing those type of things, you got to do your probiotics, and a lot of people you understand that you also still have to have prebiotics. Some people just take all these probiotics and don't have prebiotics. Prebiotics, you're going to think about all your, fermented vegetables, sauerkraut, pickles, different things like that are going to be, they're needed. Fermented foods in general are so good for our prebiotic, and they are needed. They are going to fix these issues along with our probiotics, for Clear Lab, no, I'm not affiliated with anybody. This is things that I use and I can vouch and say I trust and I use it and I know it works. For many years, Clear Labs has fantastic, I think the absolute best probiotics you can buy. Now, if you buy a probiotic and it is shelf stable, like it could just be kept on your counter, it is not a good probiotic. Any kind of true probiotic that's good is going to have to kept refrigerated, or it's worthless. Sorry, it is. And so, a good Clear Lab, and they usually, when they ship it, it comes cold in the kind of like freezer pack things with it. And you keep that in your refrigerator, but it's fantastic. I've had a child with C. diff before when he was very little, and it was bad. And of course, the medical field made the situation worse very, very quickly. For their round of doing that, Clear Labs is something, within 48 hours, and he was extremely sick. It was a really, really good probiotic from them. I trust them. And of course, like always, apple cider vinegar with the mother. Do it every day. Do something, teaspoon, tablespoon, at least once a day, every day. It's going to help those things. And, people go to, whatever said type of doctor, and they need something for, they're having anxiety, they're having depression, they're having this, I'm in a slump. Again, we're seeing more and more of that since all of illness, everything came. And that's why it's important. Even if you've seen the video, you'll see the connection, because there are these attacks. Again, I said all this was made very smart, and that's why people are more easily controlled and manipulated when things are not working properly. I'll say that, okay? But, we're seeing it more and more, and those are the reasons. It's, we always know that there's things with the food and what they do to the food, and they manipulate it and everything, and then things they spray, on and on, the list goes on. You see, this could be a 2-hour video. But in, a quick summary of the gut brain, if you have these type of things, and to prevent these type of things, you have to fix your gut. Even our immune system, it starts in the gut. If you have a messed up gut, you're going to have a weak immune system. You're going to be more prone to getting things, or not being able to get over things, or get repeated infections of things. It has to come from that. So I want to give you that. Of course, more details or anything that or clarification, you're welcome to email me. I will get to them as soon as I can in the order I receive them. I promise I will. So everyone stay well, God bless, and I will see you next time.